Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone, neath the halo of a street lamp. I turned my collar to the cold and damp, when my eyes were stabbed by the flash of the neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence. In the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs that voices never shared. No one dared disturb the sound of silence. Fool said you do not know. Silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words that I might teach you. Take my arms that I might reach you. But my words like silent raindrops fell, echoed in the wells of silence. And the people bowed and prayed to that neon god they made, and the sign flashed out its warning in the words that it was forming. And the sign said the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls and tenement halls, whispered in the sounds of silence.
From Global Advisory Associates, please welcome Bruce Nasby. From Global Advisory Associates, please welcome Bruce Nasby.
That was Mile Zero from Branson, Missouri. 1/3 of the group. I thank him for being here today. I love powerful music. It drives me. It helps me get through adversity. And that's one of the songs that does it for me. I appreciate you being here today. I appreciate 417 for inviting me. I've had a lot of lessons that I've learned in my career through Enactus and Junior Achievement and the Los Angeles Zoo, and now in my consulting and coaching business. It can inspire me, it can move me into action, or it can trigger a memory of some point in my past. Sounds of Silence does that for me. Simon and Garfunkel wrote that song in the 1960s, and they were competing against the Beatles for being on the top 40. In one week, they actually beat them out. But the powerful lesson there is people were talking, not speaking. People hearing without listening. What an amazing message that song is. You know, we think we're listening. We think we're good listeners. But are we? Are you formulating your answer while you're listening to a person's conversation? Are you thinking of your to-do list and what's going to come next and what needs to be accomplished? Are you looking over your shoulder at the cocktail party to who else you need to meet? That's not listening. What is listening is being totally engaged in the conversation. I'd like to show you a critical conversation that went on about 9 years ago this week. U.S. Air Flight 1549. You've all heard the story. Captain Scully Scullenberg flew his plane into the Hudson, fortunately. So let's hear about 2 minutes worth of transmission from that flight. That's the sound of silence. I could tell you what he's saying if we don't get live sound. He flew into a flock of geese. The air traffic controller was trying to get him back to LaGuardia. It's not going to happen. So he offers to get him to Teterboro or to Newark. Captain Scully says, I'm not sure I can get to any airport. The controller says, how about runway 6 at Teterboro? No, I'm landing in the Hudson, he says, while he's doing all the maneuvers you have to do to get ready for a crash landing. Usually you have preparation maybe from 10 or 20 or 30,000 feet. So he's trying to get him over to Teterboro. Then he talks about getting him to New York. Scully's kind of busy. You know, he's adjusting his flaps, preparing the plane for a crash landing, telling the flight attendants they may want to talk to the passengers. So if we had sound, and I encourage you to watch this some other time, you would hear how the air traffic controller didn't even get the flight number right. Scully was on his own. But you know what happened? Scully heard the flight attendants. He had instructed them to prepare for a crash landing. And as the plane was going in the Hudson River, he heard his flight attendant say, brace for landing, brace for landing, brace for landing. The flight attendants had listened. The passengers had listened, and all were saved. Oh.
Turn left thing 210.
210, 4718. I think he said he was going in the Hudson.
Cactus 1529, Houston.
So another plane is telling him he's going in the Hudson.
If you can, you got runway 29 available at Newark. It'll be 2 o'clock in 7 miles.
He's in the Hudson.
4718, climb maintain 2000.
Okay, 1000 and 5 at 288.
And you can fly 4718, I'm sorry, I missed that. Say again?
Say again.
And we're up to 12,000, 280 and ahead.
Okay, thank you. You can fly 4718, turn left 220.
He was telling him which direction to turn. So, the power of listening. Communicating is listening, not talking. I've been a coach and a consultant in recent years, and it's a lesson I've had to learn. I challenge you to be a better listener. When you have that conversation, start off by listening to the entire conversation. There's some points here on the slide I'd like to show you. Be silent when the other person's talking. Listen, give them their full attention. And only then, when they finish talking, do you prepare your response. That may take you a few minutes or a few seconds. But don't formulate that response while they're talking. People will notice and will tell you you are a great communicator. I encourage you to watch this YouTube video. How many of you have seen this? It's not about the nail. Watch it with your spouse. And it's about 2 minutes. I have that link on my handout card that I'll have in the conversation hall after the presentation if you'd like to, if you can't read the link from here. Music can change people's attitude, their life, get them excited about what they need to accomplish next. It can motivate you. It can drive you to the next achievement. One of the songs that really drove me about 10 years ago when I was speaking before about 1,500 university students in Toronto, Canada at the SIFE World Cup, was the music from Jekyll and Hyde called This Is the Moment. Let's hear about 30 seconds of it.
This is the moment, devil the odds, this day or never, I sit forever with the gods. When I look back, I will always recall, moment for moment, this was the moment, the greatest moment of them all.
That reminds me of twists and turns in my career, and maybe to help you remind you of key moments in your past. But there will be moments ahead about a job offer, about moving abroad, a promotion, perhaps a marriage proposal. Jeff, any progress on that one? On its way. Okay. All right, let's check with Jeff later on today. Perhaps it's starting a family. Take advantage of those moments when they come along. You won't always pursue that new opportunity, that new adventure, but dwell on it. Dwell on it with your family and people that are important with you. To me, music drives me. I'm a guy from the 60s. So it's Beatles and it's Beach Boys and it's the Eagles, surfing music. To you, it may be Timberlake or Bruno Mars or Dave Matthews, Taylor Swift. Music can get you focused. And that's my last point today, is getting focused. There's been a lot of talk about how you should multitask to get everything done. Is that really possible to multitask? You can do a lot of things during the course of a day or an hour or 15 minutes, but can you do more than one thing at a time? No. Gary Keller, in his most recent book, The One Thing, talks about the power of focusing on just one thing at a time. We all have busy lives. We have sales calls to make, business meetings to go to, lots of different things. But how can we be successful if we're trying to do many different things at once? Going from that sales call to that email to that person that walks into your office and says, "Do you have a minute?" Focus. When you get up in the morning and after you do your morning routine of exercise or meditation or drinking that coffee to get you started, focus in on that one thing that you need to accomplish today. It could be getting ready for that next sales call. It could be preparing for that management meeting. Or maybe it's just speaking with your spouse about your marriage. Whatever that one thing is you need to focus in on. What is that one thing you need to do this year, in 2018? What do you need to do this week? What do you need to do today, right now? I'd like to close by just encouraging you to think about listening when you're trying to communicate, focusing when you're trying to get your goals achieved. And I encourage you to learn from those lessons that you have along the way and those moments that you have along your way. And take advantage of that music that drives you. What is that song that gets you up for that next call? What's that song that gets you through that time of anxiety or that time of failure and that you need to be redriven to the level of performance you know you can achieve? I'd like to take us out with Mile Zero coming back and doing a song by Paul Simon. While they're coming out here, I'd just like to invite you to visit with me in the conversation hall. Love to talk to you, set up a call with you, visit with you about how I might be able to help you. I've enjoyed seeing you today. I look forward to meeting all of you today, and I promise to listen. Thank you.
Mama Pajama rode out out of bed and she ran to the police station. Papa found out, he began to shout, and he started the investigation. It's against the law, was against the law. What your mama saw was against the law. Mama looked down and spit on the ground every time the name gets mentioned. Papa said, oh, if I get that boy, I'm gonna stick him in the house of detention. Well, I'm on my way, I don't know where I'm going. I'm on my way, I'm taking my time, but I don't know where. Goodbye to Rosie, the queen of Corona. Me and Julio down by the schoolyard. I said me and Julio down by the schoolyard. A couple of days they're gonna take me away, but the press let the story leak. When the radical priests come and give me release, we was all on the cover of Newsweek. Ooh, well, I'm on my way, I don't know where I'm going. I'm on my way, I'm taking my time, but I don't know where. Goodbye to Rosie, the queen of Corona. I said me and Julio down by the schoolyard. I said me and Julio down by the schoolyard. I said me